This is going to be a part 8 to my Why You Should Never Hire a Mangina series, and in this video I'm going to talk about Mangina cliques. What happens whenever you hire a Mangina in the workplace is he's going to start forming alliances with weaker coworkers, your beta males, and some of your softer, weaker females. And he's going to use this group in an attempt to undermine the authority of management and business owners. Your mangina, for the most part, he wants power. Unfortunately, he does not want any responsibility. He wants to be able to say that he controls an organization and controls things in an organization, but again, he does not want to take responsibility whenever there's a hiccup or a mistake or an error. And what happens is when this guy is in charge of things pretty much fall apart because he's the kind of guy, again, whenever things get hard, he abdicates power because he does not want that responsibility. And things that your mangina cliques can do to disrupt your business is prevent good ideas from coming through, because what they'll do is they'll create a wall between business owners and management and the rank and file employees, and saying, socially things can't be, the managers and owners can't be approached unless they go through them, or they will make sure that certain projects are steered towards members of their clique. And that can be destructive to your business, because if products are and ideas are steered towards the clique, that means ideas are not flowing freely. You really want ideas to flow freely, and you want employees to feel open about expressing ideas and new concepts to all the business, not just the clique. If everything's going through a clique, things are eventually going to go through a bottleneck, because first the employee has to go over the wall of the mangina's clique in order to get to management. And then the whole thing is that your employees have to go through a whole bunch of crap tests in order to be proven worthy. And who makes this mangina the authority in the workplace? The authority is supposed to be the business owner. It is not supposed to be some person who puts themselves in a pseudo authoritative position. And this is what your mangina does. He puts himself in a pseudo authoritative position. He possesses and puts himself in a pseudo position of power. And and the whole thing is, he pretends like he's the gatekeeper for another person's business, and he's saying that who goes through um, and what goes through. He's pretty much, putting up a wall in your own business and preventing employees from being able to speak freely and express themselves freely. And whenever you have this guy in charge of putting up these type of orders in place, social orders in place, you're not going to, again, have employees who feel comfortable in the workplace. Because another thing that he does with these cliques is he uses them to create hostile environments in the workplace. And if he sees an employee he does not like, or he sees an employee who is hardworking and conscientious and competitive and will be direct competition to him, he will use the clique to create a hostile environment for that employee. And the clique will go around doing passive aggressive things like losing documents, forgetting to tell him about meetings, forgetting to tell him about deadlines. And this passive aggressive behavior, meant to undermine the employee and make the environment so hostile that they'll quit, actually long term will undermine the operations of your business. Because if your employees are all not working together, they're actually working against you. And this is what happens with mangina cliques. His cliques have the business divided. They make it where one group of employees is working for the business and the other group of employees is working for themselves. And when you have a situation like that, you have a house divided. And when your business is divided, it cannot stand against other competitors. It cannot compete effectively against other businesses. And this is why a good manager makes every effort to bust up a mangina clique or a social clique in a business, because you can't have two leaders running a business. A business is run by that owner or that manager, and everybody has to follow his leadership and his authority. Whenever you have a clique, you have two groups of people, and one group is following the authority of the mangina, the other group is following the authority of the business owner. And as the business owner, you're the one who has the final say over things. This is why you have to make every effort to assert your position as the leader and authority figure. You have to pretty much shut this guy down and shut down his clique. Pretty much the only way you're going to be able to do that is to terminate this guy and get rid of him, because that's the only way everybody else will understand who is the authority figure and who is the leader inside of the organization. Whenever you deal with this mangina, he's pretty much going to try to make an effort to grab power in your organization. And what's dangerous about him in his quest to grab power through these cliques is that with his pseudo positions and pseudo titles, he wants power, but he does not want responsibility. Whenever he's in the workplace, he'll be the one trying to dictate the terms of how work goes or rules. And whenever there's a hiccup or an issue, this is the first guy to head for the exit or to abdicate power. He does not want to be the manager. He does not want the responsibility of a manager. He does not want to be accountable for anything. But he wants power. He covets power. But he doesn't understand, what responsibilities entail that. In order to be in charge of things, you have to be responsible for them, and you have to make sure that everything that you're responsible for is functioning. And the mangina does not want to do that. He wants to be able to bark orders and control people, but whenever those people, again, make a mistake or they fail at something, he's the first one to throw them under the bus. He's the first one to stab them in the back. And all of his behaviors with these social cliques, pretty much what they do is that they undermine your workers' morale, because if your workers start to see that this group is pretty much dictating everything and controlling everything, they're not going to feel motivated or to contribute to the organization or feel like they're part of a team. They're not going to feel like they're a part of a cohesive unit. Instead, they're going to feel like outsiders inside of a company, and they're going to get disconnected from your company's mission, its company's goals, and they're not going to see themselves as part of the bigger picture. Instead, they're going to see themselves outside of the picture, and many of them are just going to be biding their time and collecting paychecks until they can find the next opportunity to go work for your competitors. And that's another reason why you really want to get rid of this guy whenever he starts forming social cliques, because he's taking your resources and taking your employees, and which are your greatest resource, and making them feel worthless and valueless in your organization. Everyone in your company should feel valuable. They should feel appreciated. They should feel that they can be open and contribute to the organization. They should feel like they can be a part of the company. And they don't feel that way whenever there's a clique running around in the company. Instead, these employees feel like they have to either go through all these crap tests to be a part of the company through this mangina, or they just feel like they're just biding their time. Instead of them feeling like they can be a part of the organization, contribute something, and be a part of the company and receive part of the benefits and the rewards. And you don't feel like you can get any benefits and rewards in a company where there are a whole host of social cliques. These cliques, again, they destroy your company from within, and they have your employees competing against each other instead of working together. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.